The year is 2016. One of the most influential manga in the world had just come to a conclusion, and the world hungered for something new, something fresh, and Black Torch was definitely not that. Black Torch, created by Tsuyoshi Takaki, follows the story of a young man named Jiro Azuma, a teenager who lives alone with his grandfather and just so happens to be the descendant of a clan of ninjas. For as far back as he can remember, Jiro had been trained by his grandfather in self-defense, using the Azuma family martial arts. Aside from his family's martial arts, another thing that came along with his bloodline is the ability to talk to animals and form a friendship with them. And it's that ability that leads Jiro to rescue an injured cat from the forest behind his house. But this wasn't any normal cat. This was a Momonoke. This was Rago, the Black Star of Doom. See, a Momonoke is an immortal spirit, demon, curse, anything you want to call it really. You see, Rago was sealed for a ridiculous amount of time, which seems to have caused some slight amnesia as to his life before being sealed, but then was released by some evil Momonokes who wanted him to join the dark side. Rago refused and managed to escape, but not before having this shit beat out of him. He managed to make it to the wood outside Jiro's house, where he collapsed. The only problem is he was followed. An evil Momonoke ends up attacking Rago, and in an attempt to save his new friend's life, Jiro was killed. Feeling a strong bond to his short-lived human companion, Rago did the only thing he could. He fused with a dying Jiro, bringing him back to life and making him far, far more than the average human. Jiro gained the powers of Rago and killed the evil Momonoke. These newfound powers though brought them to the attention of a group called the Public Bureau of Espionage, who recruit the new duo into the organization. And I say recruit loosely because they knocked them out and put them in handcuffs and are basically forced to join them. The Bureau is a group of ninjas and spies who gather and manipulate information on a global scale, as well as the observation and elimination of evil Momonoke. But there hasn't been any significant Momonoke activity for years. That was until the seal on Rago was released. Something ancient and evil is amassing power, and needs Rago to complete his plan. So to stop the rising darkness and get Rago's memory back, along with their, freedom, Jiro and Rago agreed to join the agency. But they're new and experienced, and one of them has dementia. They need a team to back them up. This experimental team would spearhead the fight against the Momonoke. This team was called Black Torch. Black Torch, for not being a totally original formula, isn't entirely without unique ideas. The first of which is the relationship between Rago and Jiro. In most cases of this nature, with like Sukuna and Yuji for instance, not only does the spirit hate the host, but the hosts hate the spirits just as much. Sure, the cases like Naruto and Asta who want to befriend their spirits, and like Ichigo, if I remember correctly, who doesn't care if his whole likes him or not. But this is one of the very few cases where both of them are actually friends from the jump. They both risked their lives for each other on multiple occasions, and are actually pretty good teammates from the get-go. Like there's a point in the manga where Rago is forcefully ripped from Jiro's body by a Momonoke called Amagi, and Rago leaves his tail, which he stored all his power inside Jiro. Knowing full and well that once Amagi finds out and realizes Rago is of no use to him, he'll kill him. But in order to keep his friend safe, Rago did it anyway. That's how much he cares for the boy that saved his life that day in the forest. And Jiro's feelings for him are no different. He went toe to toe with some of the strongest fighters in the Bureau because he wanted to escape and save Rago. The only person that was able to stop him was his grandfather, who, did I mention, was a former member of the Bureau and is one of the most badass old men in all of fiction. I'm really a sucker for good character dynamics. And if this series went on longer, I think Rago and Jiro's bond would have been something people would really enjoy. Another thing that really stands about the manga is the art. By the way, this occurred from someone who knows absolutely nothing about art, so bear with me. One thing you might notice when reading Black Torch is that the art has a lot of lines, sort of like sketch lines. They're visible on characters' faces and mainly around their eyes, on the Bureau's armor, on Rago's flames. I don't know anything about brush or line work, but I notice these lines. They make movements look crisper and add an extra force to movements and attack, and just make a lot of characters look a lot more cool and menacing. I don't know, I feel like I'm not making a lot of sense here. Just read it for yourself and see. You can tell that the mangaka really likes to draw cool characters, because there was absolutely no need for Jiro and Amagi to go from looking like this to this in their final battle. I mean, Amagi's character design always looked cool, but this form was insane. Jiro went from dressing up like a My Hero Academia B-list hero to looking like he's been about this life for generations. They somehow made him look cooler than Rago's rage form, and that's not an easy thing to do. Also, there are like 3 random wallpaper level double spreads in the manga that go exceptionally hard for no reason at all. The only real issue I have with this manga though is the side characters. The pacing is obviously rushed, seeing as how it was cancelled, the mangaka has to draw some kind of conclusion. And all things considered, it's actually still pretty good. So good in fact that they're actually dropping a Black Torch anime. But that's besides the point. I don't know if this is why the manga was axed or if it's just a side effect of its impending cancellation, but most of the cast aside from Manga and Jiro are subpar as hell. And that's really disappointing because characters like Reiji, for instance, had the potential to be really good. The storyline with him and his brother, if fleshed out well, can make Reiji just as cool or even cooler than Jiro. But all we ever see him do is draw a fight with Jiro, get absolutely packed up by his brother, and be absolutely irrelevant in every fight aside from that. And don't get me even started on her. She has so little presence in the manga that she actually makes a point at it to talk about how she feels like she's doing nothing while everyone is risking their lives. And that pisses me off because when she does get screen time, her fights are crazy. All in all, Black Torch is a really good read. It's one of those manga that if allowed to continue, would have definitely made the Shonen Hall of Fame alongside other heavy hitters like Black Clover or MHA. Also, I think JJK drew some inspiration from it, seeing how the powers in BT are called Aura Techniques and the powers in JJK are called Curse Techniques. I don't know, maybe it's just a coincidence. But with the trailer for Black Torch anime out, maybe Black Torch will get the recognition it deserves as a great manga. It just so happens to be axed before its full potential could be fulfilled. And who knows, maybe they could uncancel it. As always, the source material signing out. Stay safe, stay blessed, love your neighbor. Bye.